You think that this person is the one, and you don't want to mess it up, right? You don't want to mess it up. So I think I gotta pull up a little bit so that the shade is like not in my face. Maybe I need to pull back. Maybe that's it. Let me see. Is that better? I think that's a little bit better. Right? So what do you do though when you think that you just met or you're with the love of your life, the twin flame, the soulmate, the life partner, the one, and you don't want to mess it up? So I'm going to ask you to participate in this video, and I'm going to share some secrets that I had to learn the hard way, and some of the things that I teach in my private sessions with my clients, because I believe everybody deserves true love, and that stuff is for real, but that relationship side of it takes some work. And we don't always get taught what that work needs to look like and what it definitely has to feel like in order to keep it. And that's just something that, I'm out here trying to help people with. Miss Woods, I was thinking about you consecutively for the past couple of days. So I'm sending you my love. I was like, I think she's studying. I'm not going to bother her. I wanted to reach out, but I did not. So I just want you to know that. You've been on my soul, baby doll. So come on in, spiritual superstars, and type in those 4 1s, the opening of the spirit realm. Hey, 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 everybody. Is that Nina? What? Hey. Hey, everybody. Okay, so what do? Right? Here's my thing, is true love is real. Love at first sight, very real. Very, very real. Who has felt that? Who has really received that love at first sight? And sometimes it's like love at first sight, but you're with someone else. And that love at first sight is not with the one you're with. Have you ever felt that? I have. I definitely have. And when you feel that love at first sight, it's like your whole world stops, right? Like, comment, how does that feel to you? Because it's like unlike any other love, right? But like, you reunite, or you meet each other, you're reuniting either way you put it, but just not in the sense that you may know each other physically in this world, right? In this 3D. So you know each other from another lifetime. That's for sure. And when you connect in this lifetime, you feel like you just totally reconnected with yourself in a different way, in an opposite way, like in a way that you've never known yourself, but you feel like, oh my gosh, like you are me, you know, like you own me, like that kind of thing. Like, you own me. I feel you. You definitely are part of me. Like, what is going on? Like, we don't even know each other, or we don't even know each other like that. But like, I feel like you own me right now. Like, you own my soul. It's that serious. It's that deep where you feel like that, right? And so that's nothing you want to tell anybody, right? Because that junk is scary. And you're like, dang, you don't want to tell nobody, especially your best friends, because then they're going to be like, why are you acting all thirsty? Come on now, that's a little desperate. But you feel like that. And you feel like that person is pulling your soul to them, and like they own you. Like it's out of your control. Am I lying? Does anybody else feel like that? Like, I tell you, I'm like, look at Miss Woods. My mouth became watery. My mouth became watery. Just savory. You know? You just be like, I guess I'm thirsty then. I guess that's the way. Is this what it is? But it just feels so good. So I think when that happens, first thing, yeah, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Like, I'm going to go over some steps that you definitely want to go through because you don't want to be telling everybody. Because, excuse me, unfortunately, some people are going to feel jealous. That stuff happens. The envy is real. When you reconnect with the love of your life, with your soulmate, your twin flame, you're going to feel like this can't be happening. And it is. And so the first thing that you want to do is you want to go tell somebody else. Does anybody else feel like that? Like you want to go share it with somebody and you're not quite sure if you should. But then when you do, you're like halfway in or a little bit in, you regret it because of their reaction. Because you're an empath and you feel their energy right away. And you know something just shifted. And then you regret it and you're like, I wish I could just be quiet right now. I shouldn't even say anything. I should have not said anything to begin with. They don't understand what I'm saying. They think I'm just crazy. They think I'm doing too much. I'm extra. You know, they think that, oh, you're just so, you know, no, you fall in love at the drop of a hat kind of thing. And it's like you never told them anything but this one time, but now it's, all Judgment City, right? Does anybody else, has that ever happened to anybody? So here's the deal. You do reconnect on that spiritual level, absolutely, but you reconnect in the third dimension that we call light. So, right? So what do you do when that happens? How do you avoid feeling weird? How do you avoid messing it up? Okay, so I didn't know all this to begin with. I had to learn the hard way. And I learned, number one, don't tell everybody. That's one thing. Don't tell your best friend, especially if they're not spiritual. Don't say nothing. Don't say anything. You got to go to the Most High. And then secondly, you're going to have already done these things that I'm going to talk about right now. So who is in the pre-stage of reuniting with the love of your life, or you're right there at that stage where you're just like, I'm ready, or you're like, I think this is the one. I got to get a reading with Miss Nicole so I can find out for sure. And then that being said, who has gotten a reading with me and they found out for sure? And y'all know doggone well what I'm talking about because our readings be, like, well, I got to tell my human to stop being nosy in our readings. They be like that. Like some of my clients have gotten married off of our readings, like that's deep. Like I feel honored because of that, Whew. Okay. All right. So, and I've had couples in my readings where, that really right there, oh, that's just like, what? They both want to be in the reading? Oh my gosh. So cool. It's an honor, It's good stuff. When you get both of them on board, oh my goodness, that's good stuff. So these are the steps you want to take. Okay, so I see some people like, yes. Okay, so LaFawn's like, I'm getting ready. What is that? Somebody's got like an emoji. Child, I can't see nothing in this car. It's too dark. Okay, but I see y'all getting ready, right? Y'all ready? All right, Dominique says, I want to attract this in. Okay, cool. So now listen. I'm telling you stuff that my Obima, don't come up in here with no bad negative stuff. I know it might be a bad night for you, but now you here, so it's not a bad night, okay? Don't nobody come in here with any negativity. I'm gonna catch y'all right now, okay? So don't do it. Don't come in here with it. Don't come in here, because now you got the warriors up in here that will definitely shut it down. My administrators, my monitors, my admins, they will shut it down I'm just warning you, okay? They are like spiritual pit bulls when it comes into that. And see, look at Miss Woods. That's the number one right there. We'll shut it down. And so, thank you so much, Miss Woods. Okay, look at LaFon. Okay, so thank you so much. Because she knows how sensitive I am and how vulnerable. I can't put myself in that situation anymore. So, what you first want to do, and I love you so much, Miss Wood. I love you. So I'm not telling you anything that my twin flame and I have not been like this in agreement. You talk about going all the way around the world together and back and madly in love. Okay? We reconnected when we were kids. We were like 12, 13. Broke up from our mamas. Constantly came this close to reuniting throughout the years. He sought me for several years. I didn't seek him at all. He sought me. And when we finally reconnected, we were putting the dots together. We were literally one street over from each other on days. We were literally in same cities at the same time. We were literally neck and neck for over 20 years. When we reconnected, it was because of this. Now, we follow our spiritual guidance, spiritual superstars. So when I tell you what I do it. I did it. And this is the truth. This is how I live my life. This is how it happens, right? So, um, so I knew it was time for me to have my son. Well, when we were 12, 13, God told me I was going to have my son. I was going to be his junior, but God said, you're going to have his son and you're going to name him him. So that's what I told him when we were like 12. And because that's what God told me. And so at 12, I was following my spiritual guidance. So fast forward 20 something years later, I'm hearing, it's time. And I'm like, it's time. And God's like, it's time. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not dating anybody. So how can it be time for me to have my son? Like, who is it? And so I started hearing his name. I asked, God told me, flat out, just like that. So then I won't go into the steps that we took to reconnect because it's fire. And I'll tell you in another video of just exactly how it happened, so you'll know exact steps to look for, and you'll be able to follow your own spiritual guidance with unquestionable accuracy. Pinpoint it, boom, just like that, because that's exactly what we did. And we're not special. This is something that happens with everybody. You just have to know how to follow your spiritual guidance. So when we reconnected, I told him, you know what? Do you remember when I told you that God said I was going to have your son and name him you? He said, yes. I said, that's why we reconnected. I said, it's time. He was on board, straight like that. And then he was like, but I can't have no boys. Now, he had a couple boys. He had so many girls, right? He had more girls than boys. So I was like, you don't have a junior? He's like, nah. And I'm like, that's because I'm about to have your junior. You know? So that's what we did. Right? So, okay, we took care of God's business. Right? And then things got really rocky. Because when you reconnect, that doesn't mean that you reconnect with circumstances that you can deal with. And he wasn't totally done. And I wasn't totally convinced that I really wanted to be in a relationship. And so we had some 3D work to do. That's the purpose of this video. So because you feel that true love and you feel that pull on your soul, that's one thing. But reconnecting with life circumstances and responsibilities is another. So in order for you to really come like parallel with each other, be eye to eye, soul to soul, you got to be able to exercise your throat chakra, right? And so I had a really hard time with that because I was not used to speaking up for myself or standing in my truth. And I was very used to running. And I was very much like, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get. That was it. You know, I know what I want out of life. This is what I'm going after. I'm not settling for anything else less. And I don't have time to even compromise. That was my whole attitude. I'm very well off. I'm living my best life. I'm good. I'm okay being a single mom, and I can handle being a single mom. I wanted my son. I got my son. Very selfish. I was very selfish in many ways. Very spoiled. I still am very spoiled, but it's very selfish, self-centered in a very selfish way. It was unhealthy. And I still follow my spiritual guidance. And so spirit started slapping me and was like, I didn't let this happen for you to just be selfish and be tripping. So I had to learn. You go back and you honor your relationship with Source, because true love has God all in it. And so when you seek outside validation from your friends, from even clergy, from family, that's going to be when things go wrong. You got to seek out the Most High. And so then you have to know what your requirements, your standards, and your values are. I had no clue. I didn't know how to voice it. I had been so much on a red eye to my own desires, my own needs, my own, what me and my baby girl, what we want. We get anything. We do what we want to do, everything. No clue of how to voice that to somebody else, and how to compromise, and how not to pick every battle that was between us, how not to have the last word, not to even want to have the last word. Are y'all with me? Hit the thumbs up button if I'm making any sense. Look at Lorena up in the house. All right. Am I making sense? Because you gotta learn how, if you don't know that yet, okay, Dominique, thank you. If you don't know your standards, your values, your requirements, if you don't know how to voice it, this is what ends up happening. Happened with me, happened with so many of my girlfriends, happens with so many of my clients, that you end up getting intimate right away, boom. And then y'all aren't on the same page. One of y'all are all in. The other one is just like, it was just a good time. I mean, I feel that energy. Maybe they might be like that, but I mean, it's not, you're not on the same page. So you want to make sure you're on the same page, right? So I'm not saying don't be intimate. I'm not even saying don't be intimate right off the top. What I'm saying is you got to be on the same page, and that's scary. So I had to learn how to be vulnerable, and I had to learn Once I learned that, you know what, I'm ready to walk away, and I will walk away in a heartbeat, and seriously walk away and be okay with it and still love you unconditionally for who you are, then and only then were we really able to come back and be like this. But before that, it took me to make that change within myself, because then it was a healthy detachment. So when you are reconnecting with the love of your life, or your twin flame, or your soulmate, you got to be able to say, okay, my standards in relationship are this, my value about life is this, and my requirements for romantic relationship are this, because my requirements for other relationships are that. So for example, I had to know what vulnerability was. Vulnerability, that's my mama that on the way to an event, Mama, what do you think vulnerability is? But Dr. Brene Brown has a great video on vulnerability. I suggest everybody looks at it. It's on YouTube. She was like, my mama, my queen mother, she was like, vulnerability is that faith in the Most High and complete submission to the will of God. And I'm like, dang, okay, because I can bask in that. You can fall in love with that, right? You can just dive into the ocean of the divine's protection, right? So that's being vulnerable. You just know that God's got you, right? Miss Woods, we were on our way to you. That's the time we were on our way to you. We had such good conversation, man, in that truck. Let me tell y'all. And so you gotta know that God's got your back no matter what, right? So that's being vulnerable. So once you lay that foundation of, ooh, right here, all up in here, ooh, it's hurting. It's open, it's wide open, it feels like anything could come in there and just snatch your heart out. That's vulnerability. So even if you got to be like this, oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't know what to say, but you know what? I know what I feel, and I just gotta trust it. I don't know. I know you might think I'm crazy, but it doesn't feel crazy to me. Even if you gotta be like, oh, I can't even look at you when I say this, but like, I never felt like this about anybody. I don't know if you feel like it. I can't be the only one. I just don't know if you feel like that. Do you feel it? I mean, like, it's crazy. You saying stuff like that, you know? But that's vulnerability. And then you just hush. You just let the other person say something, say what they have to say. But that's vulnerability. Let me tell you what happens. When you do that, you start being eye to eye, heart to heart. You connect even deeper than the chemistry that you're already feeling. And that is key. Okay? This is not something that my queen mother even knew how to teach me, because different generations, right? But I saw it in her by example. That woman, whoo, oh my goodness, respect, oh, demand respect, carry herself like the goddess that she truly was and is. So I learned from that example. How to get to that stature, I had no clue. No idea. None at all. Okay? Had no idea. And then you're gonna fumble. Be okay fumbling, right? So that's the other thing. You wonder sometimes how some you see some men, some women with people that may not be as attractive as you think, that they would see them as, or that you even see them as, and you wonder like they don't, maybe you think, oh my goodness, this this movie star model looking, celebrity looking person is with this plain Jane average Joe, kind of person, or even, whatever scale you put them on, but they connected here. That's the whole thing right there. They connected here. They see each other eye to eye, which is really through the mind's eye. So it's spiritual. And in order for you to infuse that spiritual connection, these are some of the steps that I had to learn to take. And these are the steps that we go through in our private sessions, and they work instantly. Let me tell you, I've learned some tips on how to text. I've learned how to say what I have to say and get my point across, and really enjoy vulnerability now. So, and if you're open to coaching, that's why we have our 6-month coaching scholarship. Okay, it's open. Just text message our business line, and I'll send you the information. You and I'll have a conversation. Um, but it's important to know how to express your standard. So, like, what is your standard in relationship, period? Platonic, your parental, your children, siblings, co-workers, community, church family, job. What are your manager position or your relationship with them? Exes. What is your relationship requirement? What is that standard? What are your values? So you've got to have time to go through all of that while you are seeking that connection to happen, or while you're just in that energy of it just happening. You got to know that. So you've got to spend time with spirit. And that's why I say seeking outside validation from other people is definitely the recipe for failure. And that's the recipe that you will end up saying, I don't got time for this. Because now who you shared your information with now already got your energy all jacked up and closed off to the very love that you should have never shared with anybody. Now they done stole your blessing like a thief in the night, and you didn't even know what happened just because you shared your business. You shared your blessing with somebody, right? So you can't do that no more. And you gotta be in that vulnerable position of, I want to say something so bad because I can't believe this is happening. It's so good. It's too good to be true. No, it's too good to share with anybody. Don't you dare share with anybody. Let me tell you something. So I ended up sharing. When we reconnected, I was like, can you believe it happened like that? Like, dang, it happened like boom, 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 boom. I was hearing his name in the middle of the night. I'm like, dang, it's time for me to have my son. And I'm like, it can only be one or two people, and it definitely can't be the one, because I don't want to have nothing to do with that one. So it can only be this one. I got to know his soul. So, okay, God, I know two souls. I know two men like I like they my soul. But it can only be the one. So, okay, but dang, I haven't talked to him since we was 12. What is that? You told me when we were 12 that this was going to happen, but dang, are you, what? Okay, of course you're sure. So I will catch myself talking to God like that, because that's how I talk to the Most High. Don't ever fake the funk with God, okay? Don't ever fake the funk. Be you. Don't be, oh, Lord Jesus, and oh my goodness, oh, no. If you don't talk like that normally, if you ain't talking in tongues normally, don't try it at any point with God. Because the Most High is going to call you on your stuff. Okay? Don't ever get slapped by the most illumined. Divine Source don't play that, and you cannot be acting holier than thou. Because who you trying to impress? I'm telling you right now. First time that God told me, are you done playing with me? When I heard that, okay, in my room, I heard that as clear as day from the air. I think I busted my kneecaps trying to praise the Most High, because I was praying on the surface. Oh, please, please let him stop doing this, let him stop doing that, and all this stuff. And when I was in my 20s, I'm like, oh, please just, you know, oh, why can't he just do this? Why can't he just do that? Why can't we just be like this? And God was like, are you going to stop playing with me? I was like, in my little room, who the heck? Lord, I am so sorry. You talking about forgiveness? I was like, please forgive me. I don't know what to say. Please tell me. Please tell me. Please show me my spiritual guidance the way that I can receive it. That's how I started saying that. God slapped me. Slap me straight. Okay? So, man, and I ain't tell nobody that until I came to y'all. How many years later? Like 30 years later? Like, I never shared that with anybody because I was like, I ain't talking to nobody about this. Never. So, you were the never. And so I shared it with somebody. I was like, can you believe that it happened like that? I'm like, dang, I'm hearing his name in the middle of the night. I mean, oh my gosh, where is he? Is he in prison? Like, what if he's on drugs? Like, what if he got like 27 kids? I don't know what's going on with him. But God, I know you know me, and I know that you know that I got it. I know you know this. You already told me this was gonna happen, so I know. But dang, oh my gosh. Okay, okay. It's gonna happen. Okay, okay. What do I need to do? You talking about that kind of thing? So that was my conversation. That's what I was talking about in my apartment. My daughter was like wanting some change, and she's looking at me with her passy, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I mean, shit. Watch yourself when you're saying that around your kids because she would take her passy out. Oh, ship, mama. You can't say that. Ship. So she was, oh, ship. Not even barely one. And you talking about, oh, ship. So watch yourself. But yeah, so that was the conversation. And I ended up telling one of my, what I thought was really good friends, but she was going through her own drama. And when your friend is going through drama, right, they can't get out of their drama enough to not direct that stuff onto you. So, excuse me, projection is real. And they're not doing it on purpose all the time, but that's my fault for sharing my business. So she was just like, oh, so do you think that that's going to really work? I mean, what if he's doing, and she started with all the what ifs. And I'm like, then I started feeling like that energy, like what? And we were on the phone, and I can remember looking at the phone like, what the, like what? Then you're all upset. You don't want to even continue the conversation, right? So the other time was I told a friend we went to lunch. She was like, so what you been up to and what's going on and everything? And I'm like, everything's great. Life is good, you know? Everything's going wonderful. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah. And I told her, I actually reconnected with someone. And so everything's going good. She was like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, is he going to come live here or something? Are you going back up to New York? I'm like, I don't know. Well, I mean, you really think it will work out if y'all not, what? What are you talking about? Like, we're supposed to be having lunch. I got like 10 more minutes till I got to go back to this doggone HE double hockey sticks hole that is sucking my soul dry from corporate America. And I just came out to have a good lunch with a friend of mine. And now it's turning into, do you really think it's going to work out? So I just said that we are in conversation. I'll never forget that conversation. I was so disappointed in myself for saying anything. I ain't talked to her for like a month and a half over that shit. Excuse my language, but I was so done because I was like, what is wrong with me seeking outside validation like that? So I asked God to forgive me that time too because I couldn't stop thinking about it. The whole day I thought about it nonstop, nonstop. So I was like, Nikki, you're not going to do yourself like this anymore. So no. So that, of course, I did do it after that. I did it several times after that. And he did too. And so that was the other part, that it was that when we started really communicating with each other about it, it was like we were doing the same thing. And we realized we were involving other people in our business. And here's the other thing about that: I was having dreams, premonitions, and so my spiritual gifts on point, his too, but he wasn't so um, comfortable with saying that, the spiritual gifts. Okay, amen. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Hey, thank you for who donated $10 to our. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you so much. Yes, there's nothing like being gathered by divine source. A to the men. Okay, so we were both letting poisonous snakes in to between us, and so the requirements, the standards, the values. Um, there's going to be moments that you're going to be blessed with that are the lesson. You got to see the blessing in it. So there was one moment that, I'm always pretty upfront, be very direct, and share something with you that I've never shared with anybody. I shared with my best girlfriend before, and y'all gonna be the second people. Okay, y'all gonna be my second friends that I share this with. Um, so we had our son, and and I decided to surprise him. Part of me had an idea that I was going to walk into something. So I decided to fly us up there and rent a car and everything and to go see. So I go up there and with my son was about, he was about maybe 4 months, something like that. And I had Nana watching my daughter, flew her in to watch my daughter, and then I flew out with my son, and we were going up there to to see Daddy, right? And and to see what I was gonna see. Now, part of me knew I'm an empath, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium. I know what the heck is going on, but then the other part of me is, I'm in love, and I am not really knowing how to make it work, and I don't know how to detach my emotions from when I need to. And I wasn't knowing how, I was just learning how to do my standards, my values, and my requirements, and what that really looked like, what it was supposed to feel like, and how to voice it. So, in that, trying to figure that out, and I didn't even know I needed to figure that out. I'm talking about in hindsight that I needed to do this. So, I get up there and I knock on the door, and a young man comes to the door, and I know who he is. He's the ex's son. And I'm like, I said, he didn't say anything. And so I went upstairs, and you'd have thought that he saw a ghost. When he saw me standing there with our son, I think he turned like 5 million shades lighter to white, to the white like on my shirt. It was the funniest thing in hindsight, because at the moment I was hot as lava. Because now I know it. So then I'm looking at her too. So, I'm like, what the hell is going on in here? And I'm holding my son, and everything, all hell broke loose. Broke loose, broke up, broke down. Right? Miss Woods, hide the knives. That's exactly what he says. So then the knives, of course, I'm a knife woman. I I shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't even say that. That's exactly what he said. And you know, the other day he had the nerve to say that. He was like, "What's up, MC Genzu?" or something like that. Man, I got history with them things, and it is what it is, right, Christy? Nana, you know what I'm saying? LaFine, Miss Woods knows what it is. So it's exactly where I went to the kitchen. Oh, y'all ain't. No, This ain't going down like this. So the New York came all the way out of me. Okay, the Puerto Rican came all the way out of me. And that's it. So that was a lesson. It was a blessing there in the lesson. And that's why I say, when you know your standards, your requirements, your values, that was a very good moment that I needed to use in order to know, okay, this is my standard, this is my requirement, this is my value. Boom. This is how we're going to do things. And so I'm just saying that because that kind of stuff happens. It's real, you know? And it doesn't mean what it means in that moment. It could very much mean something different when you're choosing what to pick as your battle and you're using that situation for your growth and for you two to come together. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So, when you know your standards, what are your standards? My standard in that situation, thank you for saying that makes sense, was there's no way in the world that I can ever go for him being emotionally open to another woman. Period. Absolutely not. If I'm not number one, then it ain't never going to happen because I'm never going to be in another position. Right. And so if we can't keep it real and we can't keep it 100 with each other, that's beneath my standard because then that means dishonesty and that's dangerous. And I know me and I know what I don't go for in other ways, right? And so you have to know what your standard is, right? So what is your standard? Your standards right here. What are you not going to go for in relationship? So now that's in other relationships too. You have to know that. At the same time, I was getting ready to cut my own biological father off. Cut him off. You are toxic. I don't want the way I feel. When you reach out to me, I don't like the feeling I get. I don't like the guilt tripping. I don't like none of that toxic stuff. I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way that you make me feel. I don't like none of it. And so I was getting ready to cut him off at the same time. So that was God telling me, Nikki, I'm showing you your standard for men and women in relationship. Just as was in women. My mama, I love you. Mama, I wish you were here. Mama, you respect me. You know exactly what this. I respect you so much, and I'm fed by you. I learn from you. I want to support you. I feel supported by you. I feel loved and nurtured by you. Right. So the women in my life, I needed that type of connection. You see, you hear what I'm saying? So all of that was happening so that I could see, Nikki, this is beneath your standard and your requirements and your values, right? So, am I making sense? Hit the thumbs up button if I'm making sense. So, my value, right? What do I value? I value honesty. I value babies. I value anybody that has a heart for babies. And that's one thing that I love and admire about him is that he does have that heart of gold. And like he just does. Like he has it. Like honestly, for children, it just oh man, it's amazing. He's an excellent dad. He's an excellent dad. And he's a great man. You know, he's the one man that I trust. So with that being said, that has nothing to do with my value. You know, that's the other person. So when you connect with your twin flame or your soulmate or your life partner, you have to know what your values are, your requirements, your standards, right? Because then that way you're going to voice all of that. And you're going to be able to voice it in a way that's detached while you stay emotionally connected to each other. So here's the other part of all of this is that you are able to, let's say that you got intimate with someone that you feel is the one, and then you're just like, I don't know if they ghosted me, I don't know what's going on really, or maybe you're running now or whatever's happening. There's a way to bounce back from that too. You just have to remember that the you control the energy that you put into that connection. So if you feel like you move too fast because now, okay, well, we ain't even have any conversations. I don't even know if he got siblings. I don't know what his history is like. We just kind of got intimate fast. The one thing you want to do is you want to speak it right then and there. You know, I don't know how you feel, but you know, that was good. You know, however you want to put it, you know, that was nice. But you know, I think we got caught up in that, and I really want to take it slow. I really want to, I was hoping to just get to know somebody, but man, at least now we know that we got that kind of chemistry, right? All right, that's my call. I gotta get going. Uh-oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. Y'all got me about to get in trouble. And why is this car looking at? You gotta be careful these days. You know? Oh my goodness. Car pulling up next to me. I feel like scary. Okay, I'm getting calls. Okay, hold on a minute. I gotta keep going. You're so welcome. Every time you said Nikki, I jump. I've just given up on dating at this point. Sydney, what? Girl, okay. You could give up on dating if you want to. But if I were you, what I would say with this still total lunar eclipse energy before you say anything that you want to stick, say that you gave up dating losers and now you gave into dating kings, whoever, queens, whatever stature you see yourself at. Remember, standards, value, requirements, right? But don't ever say that you gave up on something that you really haven't in your heart. If it's in your heart, then answer it. But don't take the easy way out. Too many people give up on what they really want. And that's the whole purpose of this video, is to tell you that a relationship takes work. But when God blesses you with the love of your life, with your twin flame, with your soulmate, with your life partner, isn't that worth doing the work? If you want anything worth having, you're going to want to do the work. And let me tell you something. The love that we have is second to none. The bond that we have is so doggone good that nobody could ever break it. The relationship that we have is my best friend. The relationship that we have is so on point that we still have new things happening within each other, within us all the time. Okay? So, and we've known each other since we were 12. So, yes, what did Shauna just say? Put your shoes on and get to work. That's the thing right there. Nobody's saying it, but we gonna say it. So let me just correct that. Nobody was saying it. We gonna say it. Put your shoes on and get to work. Okay? The ones that are playing around, those are the ones that are wasting your time. The ones that are not going to waste your time are the ones that's going to require you to challenge them. That is going to require you to be challenged, to do the work. Okay, that makes sense? If y'all want to see more videos like this, then you just let me know, okay? All right. I love y'all. I'll see you soon.